Yeah, I I kind of love this radio where you can pick a point. Radio which you can pick a point to listen to wherever or whenever in the world, but you can't backtrack the you can't backtrack the recording. You have to listen there, then and now. So that's immediate. The immediate listening. I've been cleaning up, and I'm quite satisfied with what I've done. It's maybe sometimes too much. Like today I was pretty tired, even though I had a good night sleep. It's good to have a good night's sleep and contemplate and reflect on your life. Because every time I wake up I have this schizophrenic feeling. Am I in this world? Where am I? Who am I? What am I to do? What is about my life that is so important? All these kind of stupid, well, I don't think they are stupid, but they are very basic questions. Maybe it is the kind of questions I will be asking myself when I'm much older. What kind of a life is this? I'm waking up to do what? This over and over again. But as I listen to it, it's odd. Sometimes it's quite odd that I do speak of some topic, and later on, just randomly, completely randomly, but by people that I honor. Mainly I listen to people that are explaining Kabbalistic terms, understanding that is gaining more and more language area. Because if you don't have this Kabbalistic view, you will miss out the depth of understanding. But it's odd that this guy, yesterday, I was listening to him, and maybe the day before I was talking about the blessing of good sleep, the good sleep you need in order to feel new, feel renewal. He said the exact same thing, and it's that is I don't know whether it's time bound or how this come to be. I don't know, but it seems to be in the air. As they say, it is not found in the air, but it is maybe of the same kind of a spiritual source. Because I think that we have, let me put this into context. Spiritual source. Same spiritual source. I think it is a good heading. Same spiritual source. I heard back in, you see, I come from the Pentecostal movement. and they were talking about revelation, awakening, the spiritual awakening. And it had been a debate more on the underground, so to say, who is to wake up. And according to some, you can't get asleep if you don't have the spiritual. So it's both. Either it's the believers or the non-believers, because the non-believers, they are, in our view back then, spiritually dead. They have no kind of understanding of spiritual nature. Now I think it is more, some rabbis are talking about some awakening. And I think that more and more we see into this spiritual awakening, awareness, that we ask questions, fundamental questions. How do the language appear? How do words appear? How does it come to be that we are talking? So back in those days, in the late awakening of the Pentecostal movement that started in 1907. 1907. They said that the spiritual awakening was started by T.B. Barrett in Azusa Street, where you may not believe this as a leftist, but you are completely dead. That is it serves as a good joke, but I think in the end we will see if and how dead they are. Either it's a little dead or very much dead. Dead is dead, but regarding the leftist, I have been trying to enlighten the leftists in spiritual understanding, but it doesn't work, it doesn't compute. I try to install some mental thoughts, some Trojan horse into this leftist group. Still, the horse is mute, but intrinsic in this horse, it may bloom some sunny day. If the sun rises at their side, at the left side, I don't believe. But what I try to say something, but I diverge myself. I get off track every so often. But back in those days, they claimed that T.B. Barrett was the leader of the spiritual awakening within the Pentecostal movement. And I think it is right in some regard, but worldwide, in 1907, it was, in fact, a spiritual awakening. People were turning to God, believing in God. Maybe it had to do with the Bible, that the Bible became more a private ownership than ever before. I think that when the priests were not the only one that owned the Bible, when the Bible were delivered and spread, now the Bible is spread by the youth, that gets a Bible and they keep it in the shelves and maybe never read it. But even though it is accessible, and now you can listen to Bible when you are walking by accessing YouTube or other media. You can listen to you can listen to the Bible, the scriptures of the Bible, and I will promote that kind of activity very much, because if you read it by yourself, I have a problem reading, not only because I'm dyslexic, but when I try to interact in debates, I let some computer, I have been telling this before, I listen to the voice that reads off the part that I am going to dispute or whatever. So it's outside, I'm listening to it in a way that it is not me that it's reading, it's someone else, so that I can more profoundly get the point than only seeing my inner senses. That is examining this. In the end, it's me, but before that, I get someone to read it, and if it's important, I read it. I put it on read a lot of times, just to understand what this man or lady was talking about. But when the Bible was spread, it became, and I don't think many people reflect in that kind of order, that if you spread the news, if you spread the truth, either it's a leftist truth or it's the real truth, you will be converting people to believe whatever they listen to. It's not only your consent, feeling of consent, that you have a gut feeling, as they say, to what you read. But I think it is channeled into you in a way that you may consent to it. Either it's wrong or good. That's the lie of media, the lie of leftists, that they hinder the real truth. People that uphold the truth, and I have been writing a article about what is truth. I think it's a religious quality that can awaken and liberate. So when you spread this Bible, you will obviously get a kind of an impact on that kind of spreading. You get some inner conjunction. As I said in the start, it's odd that I get to hear something about the same issue that I've been talking about, like the sleep. It's odd that a rabbi that conveys Kabbalah is talking about the sleep, the benefit of the sleep. And it was concerning when did God give the Torah? And when did the people of Israel receive the Torah? And he said that God gave the Torah, he came out early in the morning, before the sunset. So it's a debate on which day we should celebrate the giving of Torah. So someone claimed it's the 6th, but when they received it was on the 7th, because they overslept. Talking about a good sleep, and God had to wait, and ever after they have to make atonement for that waiting. So it's an interesting story, and you can feel bad. That's my feeling. I'm a late sleeper. You can feel bad because you woke up a little bit too late. That kind of weird feeling. That is tampering on your mood. But I think that they will celebrate the 7th because it was when they received it, and they okay that they overslept. But it had been a great debate within the Jewish rabbis. When shall we celebrate? It doesn't change anything. As I said, it doesn't change. But it is very interesting that something like this minute issue is so highly debated. So that's the Torah. That's the giving of the Torah. And this is quite something that you have to just love the people of Israel. They are so much more advanced in their service. And what can we do to serve the God? That's a question which have been much debated, because as they look at Christians, they can't, because you have the bodily functions, the bodily needs, which is in a denial of God. We should be spiritual bound, spiritually oriented. And to eat food is lowering your motivation to serve the God. And all this, you have to, like, fast. For a Christian, to really serve the God is to fast. Leave off the food and just do the fasting. But I think that the Jews are right. You can enhance everything you do to serve God. So maybe the spiritual source was made way off, way past, way beyond 1907. But also the Jews had monopolized the Torah. The Torah was not in everybody's hand as we Gentiles. We neither had the Bible in everybody's hands. It's after that you could say, by giving of the Torah to each and every person, the service of God became also an individual kind of a decision and activity that you saw in the Bible, the way you understand how to serve God. So I believe in this kind of spiritual source that you, individual, have. I don't want to judge everything as good. You have to judge it yourself. But in a way, you you feel the kinship. Sometimes I feel the kinship with the atheists of that kind of spiritual drive. Even those that call themselves Satanists. I have this spiritual brotherhood with them. Even the leftists. Sometimes they are so eager in conveying this life lie that I have, that I feel that this is, maybe I live on a life lie too. The lies of my life. I can't dispute it. I can't prove God. This is much that is beyond my capabilities. But what the leftists and atheists have left out, mainly the leftists, is that there is a spiritual source in everything, in every word. We are part of God because He breathed His breath into us. So He didn't created us by words, but He breathed into us a living soul. So that is the real mysticism, the real ununderstandable, the uncomprehendable idea that we are in the image of God. We have this, the word just appears from a nothingness, from a void that we seems to have. The entity from within that is connected directly to God. I think it is just blindness. On the leftist side, it is this dyslexia that they have, that they can't understand, because they are not asking this kind of a profound question, because they take science, for example, as given. Everything is answered by science. And that is, for me, a bogus argument. Something like science can't answer how we are becoming, the words that we are saying. And we don't really know the void, the entity of that kind of a void that is pure, immaterial. It is non-matter consistence. Where does the word and ideas, thoughts, and why we do what we do, the activity we do, the same spiritual source that drives each and every one. I don't want to dissect why other people do what they do. Maybe they have a clear mind. That is good for me. To have a clear mind is up there. It's up in the north. I can't really explain what a clear mind is without saying that I'm very confused about what is a clear mind. We try to make sense of things. And what is the understanding of what we are making sense of? How come can we make sense of something that is outside ourselves? I think why people do what they do is it's beyond me. I can't say, but in a way, I will regard why people do what they do and how they come up with their own words to say something. It's a question, because I have no answer for my own. I know that my opinion, I have certain opinion and certain parameters on what I feel is right and wrong. And I think that takes a lot of adjustment in order to be more clear or more confused. To take a study of why you say or how to have an opinion about certain things is it takes a lot of time, and sometimes you meet something that really disputes your understanding, and you want to get to the bottom of it in order to be confident. So the truth in that kind of a matter or case is making you relieved when you come to terms with what your opinion should be. And that kind of a relief, that kind of a understanding is the truth. And to talk about spiritual source is the Pentecostal movement started mainly in 1907, but I think that the spreading of this Torah, this Bible, even in 2047, it was something of spiritual awakening to have this Theodor Herzl that came with the idea. Theodor Herzl is like the entity, the matter of the Pentecostal movement. It's far beyond my capabilities, but I think Theodor Herzl had this profound inspiration that was of the same source that T.B. Barrett and the Pentecostal preachers that preached the gospel, the salvation, the relationship with you and God was of the same spirit, that the Jewish people could have the same relationship with God, and it is best done in Israel. The best relationship a Jew can have with his God is to serve him by realizing his own dreams of some entity, of some independence, and some place which God have put the people of Israel. I think it's just the same. We are talking just in a different language. And we meet people, we meet odd coincidences that we make us to think that what is this? This is some odd coincidence that we may reflect, internalize, in order to have some deeper opinion, a more profound relationship too. So the same spiritual source is, this was odd, but I think it was a good topic, and soon it's Shabbat, and I wish you a good day.